Hi, everyone. Bill Rensselaer in the 1011 Now streaming studio. It is Wednesday. That means it's Crime Stoppers Day. Happy to have LPD Minary in the building. And I put in your UNLPD's Captain Pembleton.
I can be Captain Pembleton today.
Captain Pembleton right now. You got a little bit more hair than Captain Pembleton. Not to dog on him there, but that's not the right super. Let's see if we can.
That's all right. He's a good dude. I don't mind.
He is a good
him
dude
for a day.
He is a good dude. So let's see if we can just take that down here for just a second. There we go. We'll just go superless there. So
that works.
Jared, again, if anyone's new to watching the program here, again, we have crimes. We need help solving them, and we're going to talk about a couple of them that you guys have that we need a few tips on.
Absolutely. Let's do it.
So first one, we have an attempted burglary. This wasn't too long ago, just a couple weeks ago, and I believe started with a picture here, but we actually have some video.
Yep. So this is back on Thursday, April 17th. This is about 11:30 in the evening. This is the daycare that's in Air Park, kind of behind that Fresh and Save grocery store back in that area. So basically, they just kind of are roaming around this building, kind of acting a little suspicious. We see that they've got a mask on, or they've got their clothing, I should say, pulled up over their face, and then they're wearing gloves, carrying a bag at one point. Well, the next day when the staffs come in, they notice that somebody has tried to pry open the deadbolt on the door of the business. So obviously they call LPD and say, hey, we think we've had a attempted burglary here. And sure enough, once we look at the video, we see all this activity. And so we are looking for this guy just to talk to him about the potential for an attempted burglary at this daycare. They had one maybe about a month or two prior to this. Or I'm sorry, back in 2024, kind of late, they had another one kind of out there. So, I mean, is it possible? It could be possible that it's related, but we don't know for sure at this time.
So he did not get in, though.
He did not get in. So, I mean, that's good. Mm-hmm. But obviously, if he's trying here, he probably is trying other places as well. So
yeah. So good for the daycare. They know their kind of security system works. Yes. We've talked in years past, well, I mean, kind of years past, about having security cameras that not only catch kind of what's happening, but who's happening. This is kind of a good example of that.
Yep. It's a good job of them, just kind of like a security surveillance around the area. They kind of checked. They saw that there was something wrong with the door. Obviously, that led to them calling us. So they immediately noticed something was out of place. So that's definitely good on that team.
And so these are some of the stills that we have, I believe, from this individual. Kind of hard to make out really much.
Yep.
To get kind of a description of the suspect.
Yeah, and you'll notice that when you're watching the video, it looks like he's kind of wearing white clothing, but here in these images, you're seeing black clothing. I will tell you that it's probably what you're seeing in the pictures is what he's actually wearing. Since it's night vision, sometimes it will actually shift that clothing color. Mm-hmm. So it is the same person. It's just that because the camera sees in the dark a little different than our eyes see, that's why we're seeing him look like he's wearing white. This is actually what he's probably wearing. So if you know who this might be and the white kind of throws you off, this is probably what we're actually looking for.
Okay. And so again, it's one of those things where even if folks might think maybe it's this person, you guys want to know about it.
Absolutely. Yep. We'll take a tip on any of them. We can follow up on them and rule out the people that it isn't, and hopefully find the person that it is.
Yeah. So what's the best way to get in touch with Jared?
Well, of course, you can always call the police department if you just have any tip about anything, and you can talk to an officer at that 441-6000 number. That will go through our dispatch, and they'll get you in touch with an officer. And if you want to be anonymous, or if you want to be eligible for some kind of cash reward, you do need to call Crime Stoppers. They are the ones that do all of that. You can call them at 402-475-3600 if you would like to talk to one of the dispatchers for that. You also have the option to go online at LincolnCrimeStoppers.com and see what LPD is posting for cases in our area, and you can give a tip on a form from that website. And then, of course, my favorite area is the P3 app that you can download for your cell phone. That keeps it right there in the palm of your hand, and you can update your tip if you want to. You can add to it. You can check on it to see if there's a reward of any kind. A great little app for that purpose.
And that's you have to either do online or on the app to be eligible for the reward.
You can do the call-in as well.
You can do the call-in
All
as
of
well.
them work.
Okay.
Basically, in every case, they're going to give you a tipster ID number, and that ID number is what the reward would be under, and that's how you pick it up.
Okay. All right. So that's case number one. Case number two, same time frame.
Yep.
Kind of back late April. And this, we have a vandalism. Actually, we have video of this. Kind of walk us through what we're seeing here and why we're interested in this person.
So as our website calls this is called capital offense on the website, and the reason it's called that is because this is down by the Capitol building. And if you know anything about Lincoln, you should probably know that there are very good cameras down around the governor's mansion and the Capitol building. And unfortunately for this individual, and fortunately for us, we have some good images of him doing some vandalism. Obviously not the crime of the century, but still he is definitely doing some graffiti all around the area. We do have some images of what he's actually doing for graffiti. So maybe if you think you might know this guy and you know his sign, because a lot of times these are very specific to who it is, maybe you can give us a good tip on who you think this individual is. We would definitely like to catch up with him and discuss his art abilities.
Yeah, he kind of looks like he's drawing... I'm blanking on the name. He's like the lobster from Futurama.
Oh, yeah. Doctor something.
Oh, gosh.
I'm terrible at this now. But obviously, he's writing underneath it. We think it's a C-I-I-G. Zoidberg, that's it.
There we go.
Zoidberg. Man. Yeah.
Good show.
I should have got more sleep last night. So obviously the C-I-I-G might mean something to somebody as well. So maybe somebody can give us a tip on who this guy is.
Yeah. So again, kind of dressed almost kind of similarly to our last guy with the attempted burglary there, sort of a dark hoodie there.
Yep.
Maybe sweatpants. Looks like maybe glasses there as well. Maybe a goatee.
Yep. We think he has a beard or a goatee. He's probably got a Carhartt hoodie that he's wearing and some Van style shoes is what we believe. So again, maybe one of those little key features will kind of tip us off, get some tips on him.
Yeah. C-I-I-G. 2025.
You got me. I don't know. Maybe somebody can solve that riddle for us too.
Signing your crime, your vandalism crime, and
pretty
again,
common with vandalisms.
Which, like you said, not necessarily the crime of the century, but these are those sort of quality of life crimes. And, back of a stop sign or of a street sign, no big deal. But the next thing, it's maybe one of the nice murals we have downtown.
Exactly, or somebody's business and they have to pay to have it all cleaned up, and it costs them a lot.
Yeah.
So, I mean, even the signs, you still want them to look nice when people are going around town. So. It'll still cost money for the city to replace that sign.
Yeah, 100%. So again, you already went through it, but again, these are the best ways to get in touch. If you know something, if you think you might know something, Jared and the rest of the crew there, they like to be bothered. They would like you to reach out and kind of let them know if you think you know something, and they'll run it down. And if it's nothing, then nothing happens, and so everything's okay. Jared, the other thing we wanted to talk about today is we have Give to Lincoln Day coming up.
Yep.
And again, the Crime Stoppers program, which uber successful here in Lincoln, is run on donations.
Yeah,
so
it wouldn't exist if it wasn't for donations.
Yeah.
Obviously, everybody should hopefully know what Give to Lincoln Day is. It's basically a day where we all can donate to our favorite causes, and there's some cash that can be put back in kind of as a match funding for those programs. It's one big day to help out within Lincoln. Obviously, everybody that has an nonprofits looking for cash donations at this time. Obviously, Crime Stoppers is one of those. And really, for Lincoln Safety, Crime Stoppers is one of those places that really can make an impact, because, as you saw today, even some of these small crimes, we still give at least a $50 reward for some of these cases. And as that goes, you start adding those numbers up. And when you're giving rewards and you're paying for the program and to keep everything alive and functioning the way it does take donations. It takes some support from the community to actually make your community better. So
yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's obviously a ton of great nonprofits here in town.
Absolutely.
And a lot of people, maybe find that one that they really like. But sometimes you're looking maybe for something different.
Right.
This would be a great thing. So I think on the site here, again, since 1980, almost 12,000 cases cleared.
Yep.
A little over 9,000 arrests. A little more than $340,000 in rewards approved. And $5.5 million in property recovered. Those are some pretty incredible numbers.
Yep. And what's really incredible to me is a lot of those rewards don't ever get picked up. Lincoln isn't usually in it for the money, I've noticed. A lot of times people are doing this because they want to make Lincoln a better place to live, safer for their family, friends, and they're not just doing it for the money. Mm-hmm. Some cities I've seen, they have a much higher pickup rate for their rewards. Lincoln's pretty low. So we're not asking for money specifically for those donations, but honestly, when it comes down to keeping this program alive, that money does support all of the things that we do. Some of the things where it's we're looking for information on drug activity. That's not just something we're just going to put out there. We may have to put signs up on city buses. We've done that in the past. Mm-hmm. So those kind of programs actually do cost money because we still have to pay for things.
Yeah.
And a lot of the upkeep of the program, keeping things functioning, just takes a little bit of funding. So.
And I know you've talked about it in the past, but the whole way of keeping people anonymous to leave tips, that's a program that you guys have to pay for.
Yep. And so basically, if you're not familiar, this is a whole civilian-run board. I'm on it, but I'm just there as a police advisor. I don't vote. I don't like control where the program goes. That is all up to the civilians that are on that board. And obviously, with that board, they make decisions on how we get this information, how it gets released, and where it goes. And so they pay for the program that gives you the ability to give a tip and for it to be anonymous. They pay for the call center that's actually down in Texas. When you call, you're talking to someone in Texas. They pay for that call center to actually answer those calls for us. So like I said, there's a lot of back-end stuff that they do have to pay for. They provide all of that to the police department free of charge so that the police department can basically content manage all of those tips as they come through and then send it back to Crime Stoppers so they can vote on a reward.
Yeah. So again, obviously, again, like we said, really good program to send your dollars to. Again, no, there's a lot of hats kind of holding out for some money, especially on a Give to Lincoln Day. But I imagine a day like Give to Lincoln Day is pretty important for you guys to get a good chunk of your money that you see throughout
absolutely.
the year.
And even just like $20. I mean, honestly, one tip for us is $50. If you want to pay for one tip, that would be wonderful.
There you go. Awesome. All right, Jared, anything else that you want to make sure you kind of get fit in today while we have you?
Other than just make sure you're going to that LincolnCrimeStoppers.com website because there's always some fun stuff. There's been a lot of interesting cases on there lately. So if you're on your lunch break, go there. Check it out.
All right. Well, Jared, appreciate your time as always. We always, again, have a good chat and, again, learn a little bit about kind of what the maybe the seedy underbelly of Lincoln is kind of up to. In this case, vandalism and attempted burglary.
Yep.
So appreciate Jared's time. Appreciate everyone for tuning in, watching again. As always, keep it tuned to 1011, both on air and online for all the latest. Until next time, hope everyone has a nice Wednesday.